Climate change, a large-scale and long-term effect on the Earth's climatic system caused by global warming, has always been on the front burner. Advocates around the world have set their agenda for governments, conglomerates, and individuals on the need to take decisive actions against trivialized but harmful practices such as depletion of the ozone layer through bush burning, illegal dredging, indiscriminate dumping of refuse, cutting of trees, and mitigating the effects of climate change on mankind.
Why is it so important to stay below 1.5 degrees? Because even at 1 degree, people are dying from the climate crisis. Because that is what the United Science calls for, to avoid destabilizing the climate, so that we have the best possible chance to avoid setting off irreversible chain reactions, such as melting glaciers, polar ice, and thawing Arctic permafrost. Every fraction of a degree matters.
Efforts were set in motion as well as gains made before the COVID-19 pandemic slowed progress recorded and ongoing global efforts. The COVID-19 pandemic, no doubt, took the world unawares, bringing to the fore the need for emergency and epidemic preparedness.
I call climate change COVID 2020 and call the pandemic COVID-19 because it looks like it stole the show from climate change. Last year we were supposed to do a very grand climate change summit, trying to get back the people to understand what climate change is about, our anthropogenic activities, how we need to slow down on our carbon footprint, and to make sure that we are sequestering what we call carbon sequestration. We're sequestering carbon by planting trees, planting gardens, doing things that will absorb the carbon.
In fact, the Lancet Commission says the causes of both crises share commonalities and their effects are convergent. The climate emergency and COVID-19, a zoonotic disease, are both born of human activity and has led to environmental degradation as well as affected the most resourceful and vulnerable populations.
But what is going to happen when COVID-19 vaccines start working? Are we still going to say people going out and the air is now get polluted again? So climate change impact is very, very deep, while the COVID-19 impact is just for a season, for a period. And when it goes, then we go back to our normal life and we start seeing the impact of climate change. So let me end by saying climate change is a time bomb.
100 companies are responsible for 71% of global emissions. The G20 countries account for almost 80% of total emissions. The richest 10% of the world's population produce half of our CO2 emissions, while the poorest 50% account for just 1/10. We indeed have some work to do, but some more than others.
Despite the challenges, the World Health Organization says COVID-19 has been a pivotal moment in many ways and offers a unique opportunity to build back a better, greener, and healthier world. However, there is a need for healthy recovery from COVID-19 with its goals of addressing climate change and health, reducing air pollution, and improving air quality.
First and foremost, how do you start making use of single-use plastic? How do you start making of carpooling? How do you start making sure that the distance is not necessary for you to go by car? Why can't you take a walk? This also gives you more experience, more strength, according to the some research. Another thing again is that how can we start looking at making sure that we make our government accountable in the issue of land use, in the issue of our farming system, that we are not introducing the GMO. We are making sure that everything we are doing is according to how we want to make our environment more sustainable.
We need to go back to greens, we need to plant trees, we need to plant gardens and herbs and eat from it. Those are the things that will help us to fight this COVID-19. We need now to start taking our mint, our ginger, our lemon and from our gardens. And when we do that, you're already helping to sequester the carbon in the air. We have excess carbon in the air. So when you do the greens, they photosynthesize and give you oxygen, so there's refreshing.
key players believe to ensure a healthier planet for everyone and genuine concerns for climate change and green recovery, governments must embark on economic recovery plans in the wake of COVID-19.